again. So every successful web design should always have these three main components. So the first one is, how is your website structured? So the structure of your website tells a lot, and most websites are structured with 100 or 1220 pixels. So by width, your website should be 1220 pixels, but you can still go for something more than that or something lesser than that would kind of confuse. The second thing is, one, if you're working on your website, always do try to implement the mobile responsiveness. So when you're using a design template by someone, maybe they must have already helped you and do everything that is implementing the mobile responsiveness and everything on the website already. So what you do is just to change the content and make it more dynamic with respect to what you want. But as this is entitled or included here, if you are working on a scratch design, maybe somebody brought your website, he wants the layout to be some sort of a different layout that you haven't seen somewhere in a theme somewhere, you can always use these scenarios to follow. So there are two things of a website that must always be there. So the first one is we have the header. So the header here helps so much more to let the users navigate between every part of your website within just some few clicks. All right, so if you have a website that doesn't have a navigation, it is kind of like funny, because users might have to just scroll through one page and then read the content that is there, and whenever they are done reading, they can just kind of close the tab, and then that is all. So having a navigation bar will help so much more to retain your users in position, or the visitors of your website in position. How do I mean? Now, your navbar can have things like the home button, the about section, the contacts page, the blog section, where if let me say I visited your website, I can have that ability to view mostly everything on your website, or I can see the summary about your whole website just on the navigation bar. So I can already go and click on the about you section to check about you. I can click on the contacts you to contact you if I have any problem. If I loved your articles, I can continue to your blog to read more of those articles. So those are the type of things you guys should take into consideration. Now, as it is called the header is most often found at the top. So if your website is this, you can have a header that is here, and this header also on mobile view can be something here, but always take into consideration that the header of mobile, or the mobile view of the header, is not always the same as the desktop view of that same header, because you might have a hamburger menu of which when you click it pops up the menu maybe from the left or from the right or anywhere, and also you might have the side logo somewhere. For instance, if we wanted to include a side logo, the side logo might be here, and then we might have a hamburger menu over here, which might be 3 lines. Which might be 3 lines that when you click, it kind of loads something like the bigger menu. So it all depends on you, and then you can choose whatever styling you want for your menu, the way you want it to look like. So on the left hand side here for us, on the bigger menu, we can have your logo over here, for instance. So your logo will be here. I'm just giving you guys some design tips so you can have a logo, and then after the logo you can have some series of text. Let me just put this text into some box field. So this might can be the home page, this one could be your about page, this one could be the contacts page, this one could be the blogs page, and so on and so forth. And maybe at the end you want to have a call to action button that you want users to sign up for a specific cause or anything, or even sign up on your platform. Why not? So you can just like add another button there, and then you put in the sign up, login, or any other thing. So that is the first part of every website. So every website must have a header, and the header is that part that gives or summarizes your whole website. So it acts like your website summary. Now, talking about the second thing that your website must always have is a footer. Now, the footer is just like the guy beneath. Okay, let's say human beings, we do have heads and we have legs. So If your website has a head or the header, you should have the foot or the footer. So the footer here carries also some relevant information about your website, about yourself, maybe terms and conditions, privacy policy, and also even a contact me, a sign up email sign up form, and many other things. So it is limited because it can also take your social media icons or links to your social media platforms, and the footer always at the bottom. So the footer can be here. Maybe you scroll right down, you can see the footer somewhere below, and also the footer copies your copyright. So your copyright might be somewhere here. Your copyright, maybe copyright codewithcrest.com. Maybe you can have something here, privacy policy, terms and conditions. This maybe another menu set, and then another one here, and then another one here. So depending on how you feel that your design can be, or depending the way you made your design using Adobe XD or Figma or even Canva, it solely depends on you. And then when you are working your scratch through design out on your website, you would understand what you could use so much more to come out with better fit. So on a mobile view, maybe your header could be something like this. Maybe when you scroll and you're down, you have something like this. So the first thing you have should be, let me say, your copyright message here. So you can have something here which contains all these nav elements that you have that you are displaying, or they flex by row over here, maybe they flex by column on the mobile view. So those are the two most hard things. That is, you must have these two things on your website. Now the next one is now content. So content is just what your user is interested about your website. If you're publishing articles, that is content. If you have just some static data, that is content. So content is just what your user comes to see about your website. So the content now falls in between the header and the footer, and it changes from page to page. So you can decide to set your header and your footer to occur within all the pages using Elementor, and that is what I'll be showing you guys in these courses or the next courses to come. And then the header and the footer appears all over, but content ranges from one page to another and one blog post to another. All right guys, so the content will definitely fall in here, and it can be structured however you want it to be structured, the way you want it to be structured, and how you feel it should be structured. So guys, this is how the structure of a website is. I'm sure I've explained this already, but explaining this again really made me so much cool, because I think I'm really done so much to break it down for you guys to understand so much. So this is the structure of a website, being it a mobile or desktop. And also for you to be able to do better fit designs, as I said, always do try to design something. Even if you take a book and do your scratch design there, or you come over to this application here and you sketch something up like this, and then you try implementing it using WordPress, it is still better. So guys, thank you for watching, and see you guys in our next tutorial.